The cars have come to life on pit road, 43 of them answering the command to start engines. Momentarily, they will roll off of pit road onto the track, and then 300 miles to determine the first winner of the Busch season in 2006. Here's the starting grid for the Hershey's Kissables 300. J.J. Yaley has the pole for the first time, along with Aaron Pike on the front row. Clint Boyer doing double duty this year. Johnny Sauter in row 2. Row 3, John Andretti, a rookie in this race, and Elliott Sadler.
In row 4 on the inside, experienced Joe Nemechek. Danny O'Quinn on the outside, his first race. Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle, couple Cup drivers in 5. Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, more Cup drivers in 6.
In row 7, we've got Reed Sorensen on the inside, Paul Menard on the outside, Jeff Burton, our pole setter for the Daytona 500. Row 8, Tony Stewart won this race last year. Kevin Harvick and Bud Shootout winner Denny Hamlin.
In row 10, rookie Todd Cleaver alongside Dale Earnhardt Jr. Bernie Lamar and Tim Sauter in row 11. Row 12, former series champion David Green and Jason Leffler.
Inside of row 13 is Mark McFarland driving for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Brian Pickers on the outside, Jason Keller, Stedman Marlin, Kenny Schrader, and Kenny Wallace back in row 15.
Row 16, we have Stacy Compton, Regan Smith, A.J. Boyd, the 4th. John Wood is on the outside of row 17 with Ashton Lewis Jr. and Jamie McMurray coming from deep in the field.
Row 19, open wheel star Paul Tracy in the 34 car next to David Rudiman. Tracy Hines shares row 20 with Donnie Neuenberger. Row 21, Mark Green and Michael Waltrip. And starting shotgun on the field, former series champion Steve Grissom. Wally's on the radio. Who are you hunting for?
Let's see if we can get a hold of Carl. Hey, Carl Edwards, this is Wally up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Clear, Wally.
Well, this track is going to be hot and slick. It's going to be like Darlington. Are you ready for it today?
Hey, man, that's one of my favorite places, Darlington. I hope it's hot and slick. It'll be a lot of fun for us.
Now, we were told you're going to be starting from the rear. What's up with that?
I don't know the whole story, and I don't think I want to. I guess the old AmeriQuest Fusion, we didn't have the hubcaps on the rear or something for qualifying. Just a little mistake, but I got faith in my crew, and I think we're going to have a great race, and hope we put on a good show for everybody up there at AmeriQuest booth.
Well, it's going to be fun watching you work your way back up to the front. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. I hope you guys enjoy us as much as I do, man. This is going to be a great race.
Thanks, Carl. We certainly will, and so will the fans at home and here at Daytona. The field warming up the engines on the racetrack. The green flag coming up next on TNT.
Well, as the 43-car field makes its way around the Daytona International Speedway, the 2.5-mile tri-oval, we just have a few more minutes before we go to the green flag and the start of the season, at the 25th season of the NASCAR Busch Series. A lot of tribute being paid to the late Dale Earnhardt Sr., of course. It's been 5 years since he was tragically lost in a last corner, last lap accident in the Daytona 500, where his employee, actually Michael Waltrip, had gone on to win the race with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in tow for second place, and unfortunately the racing community lost a legend on that day. Dale Earnhardt Jr. lost his father on that day 5 years ago, this very day. So he'll be looking to put that Oreos car in victory lane to give the old man upstairs a little bit something to smile about looking down. Interesting to note that Champ Car champion of past, Paul Tracy, and of course Sebastian Bourdais' arch nemesis in the Champ Car World Series, is making a NASCAR Busch Series start today. Paul Tracy hasn't minced words of late. He would like to make a career path, a little bit of a change in his career. He'd like to move over actually to NASCAR racing, and he's going to be doing a handful of races this year in the Busch Series in that white car, the 34, I believe, before next year trying to put a full package together to join the NASCAR family along with Toyota. Big announcements being made over the winter as the Toyota Camry will be making its debut in NASCAR Nextel Cup next year. So there's a lot of interesting things going on, a lot of new faces, like Bill Weber was saying. A few rookies to look out for. Danny O'Quinn, as I had mentioned earlier, a fine qualifying position. He qualified 8th, and he'll have Kyle Busch. Of course, Kyle Busch, who's a full-time Nextel Cup driver. He'll be running the entire series in the Busch as well this year. Kyle Busch has got 6 career wins. He was the runner-up in the championship in 2004. And we'll just do a little bit of a rundown. Starting 10th will be Greg Biffle. Greg Biffle, of course, was the 2002 NASCAR Busch Series champion. He's got 17 career wins. And from 11th place back, we've got some serious contenders. We've got Carl Edwards and Casey Kane on row 6, Reed Sorensen, Paul Menard on row 7, Jeff Burton, the pole winner for tomorrow's Nextel Daytona 500 race, as well as Tony Stewart, last year's Nextel Cup champion, and the winner of this race here last year, the season opener for the NASCAR Busch Series. Tony Stewart won that race for Kevin Harvick, who starts right behind him. Denny Hamlin, who won the Bud Shootout, will be starting 18th. Anyway, we're going to send you back to the crew live from Daytona. Enjoy the race.
TNT Sports live at the Daytona International Speedway in Florida for the Hershey's Kissables 300, the first race of 2006 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Final stories from pit road, and Marty bats first.
Well, Bill, you are looking in the number 10 car at John Andretti. Yes, the same John Andretti with 300-plus Cup starts and a couple of Cup Series wins. But on the rear bumper, yes, that is a yellow stripe. John Andretti is a rookie here in the Busch Series. Just his second career Busch Series start. Actually, the other one came right here in this race back in 1998. Now, John is running for Rookie of the Year, believe it or not, in the Busch Series, planning to run all these races this year. Told me he doesn't have a lot of drafting experience in this car. They came down here, didn't have a spot in the field, so they spent most of their practice time on qualifying. So the draft will be something new for John Andretti, and this rookie hopes to do well today. Matt.
Marty, a couple first-timers on the front row. J.J. Yaley scoring his first ever NASCAR Busch Series pole, and Aaron Fike, his best ever NASCAR Busch Series start. Now, Yaley told me that his car is awesome. He can drive it anywhere on the racetrack, unlike his Nextel Cup car. But an interesting conversation between the two front row starters. Fike told Yaley, I'm thinking about getting in the gas about 30 feet or so before the start or restart line. And JJ says, well, you do know what happens if you do that, don't you? And you beat me to the start-finish line? And Aaron says, no. He goes, well, that means you'll get the black flag because I have to get there first. He's like, I didn't know that because it's a new experience for both of them. Keep an eye on that front row today. Today, Burns.
Matty, it's a familiar series for Clint Boyer. He's running in both today's race and tomorrow's race. When he runs for his Nextel Cup car, it's got rookie stripes on the back of it, just like Marty talked about with John Andretti. That's because it's his first year in full Nextel Cup competition. But he's run many laps in the Busch Series already, having been last year's runner-up to the championship. As many laps as he's had between both cars here at Daytona this week, he feels like he knows the place, and especially in this Busch car, can contend for this race, and hopefully in 2006, contend for the Busch Series championship. Alan?
Well, the field for today's race is a very interesting mix, from 50-year-old Ken Schrader making his 91st Daytona start to a quartet of 20-something-year-olds getting their first Daytona racing experiences. They're all after the same thing, a chance to stand in victory lane and hold a winner's trophy from Daytona. One of these 43 drivers gets the chance this afternoon. It's the 300 miles between now and then. That's the fun part for all of us. Bill?
Thanks, Alan. You guys enjoy the race down there this afternoon. Who will rock Daytona? Follow the action live with NASCAR.com's Track Pass. And don't miss a single move made by your favorite driver. For a special preseason pricing on Track Pass, just go to NASCAR.com. Half a lap to go, Benny. What are the drivers thinking?
Well, those 8 rookies that haven't been to Daytona before, they are a bundle of nerves because they really and truly don't know what's going to happen when these cars get down in turn one, especially the second time by when they're up to about 190 miles per hour.
It'll take about a lap and a half to get up to speed, huh, Wally?
Yeah, but they'll be 3 abreast before they get to turn 3 on the first lap, I bet.
And the spotter will be screaming at them. Inside, outside, you're in the middle.
Spotter's got his work cut out for him here, doesn't he, BP?
It's a very tough place to be a spotter. As a matter of fact, it takes 2. There's one on the front stretch on the roof. They also place spotters off turn 2. There the guys are.
Nice and easy here, bud. Nice and easy.
Talking to their drivers.
Right above the start-finish line here at Daytona. 300 miles on this 2.5-mile track. You saw it's 79 degrees. Temperature could climb to 81 this afternoon. 43 drivers. The opening race of the 2006 NASCAR Busch Series will take you all the way to Homestead. Green flags out on TNT.
have trouble brewing. Now these cars are getting 3 wide, just like Wally said. And it's a storm approaching.
Daly and Boyer out in front, and there they go, Wally.
Yeah, somebody's getting split up there right up front.
That orange car on the outside is Johnny Sauter, his first ride. He's a Busch regular, but it's his first ride for Hossock organization. He'll go for finish last year.
Daly pulls him down the backstretch, and the field heads into turn 3. 5 years ago today, this sport lost its biggest star in a last lap crash in the Daytona 500. We don't see Dale Earnhardt anymore, but every race, every place, we can feel the magic and the memories the man brought to this sport. Today on lap 3, a salute to 7-time series champion Dale Earnhardt. Turn 2.
That's Kenny Schrader. Sideways. Oh, I thought he was going to miss the wall, but he spun around and got it at the front of his car. Looks like a tire is way back there. I wonder if he lost a tire back there, BP. Left rear.
Sure looks like the left rear. It was flat on the 66. Alan?
Kenny just came on the radio, said flat left rear or right rear. One of them.
We can answer that question. It's the left.
In the middle of the turn. Nothing I can do. I got all the way up high.
Schrader brings out the caution on lap 3.
Pretty much lose a left rear tire at a place like this in the corners, and there's not a whole lot you can do.
And I'm so surprised and amazed and thrilled that all those drivers somehow missed him.
Somehow.
Watch this. John Wood just made it.
Yeah.
Then he comes back down the track.
That's the scary part right there for a driver. When you're sliding down that racetrack backwards, looking up the racetrack at your competitors, the last thing a driver wants to do.
Michael Waltrip's ride.
Turn 2, back it down. He's on the apron. He's coming back across the track. Just back it down. He's up against the track. He's up against the wall. See him?
Nice having all that pavement down there now. That used to be grass a long time ago. Now a driver can really avoid somebody sliding down the racetrack because you've got all that room to avoid it now.
All this at about 185, 190 miles an hour. First caution is out at Daytona. J.J. Yaley leads Clint Boyer in the Hershey's Kissables 300. Still under caution here at Daytona. We'll put you in Kenny Wallace's car, and you can see why we're under caution.
Here with the 64. Need it. Nice job here. Nice job.
No idea how close that was. Oh, my.
Oh, yes, we do.
We can see how close he was.
We do now.
That was Mike Kalanoff, the spotter for Kenny Wallace.
Be sure to catch the drama of NBA All-Star Weekend on TNT. Following the race, we'll have 7 hours of coverage, including All-Star Saturday night presented by AOL. It culminates tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, with the 55th annual NBA All-Star Game from Houston, right here on TNT.
Now everybody's thinking about tires.
Yes.
A pit road update from Alan Bestwick.
Yeah, Bill, a brake line has come loose onto the left front corner of Joe Nemechek's car. They have tried to repair it. I don't know if they've got it completely done. They're going to try and get to the next caution and see if they can fix it then.
Well, it leaking fluid, Alan, do you know?
It was when it came in. They think they might have gotten that stopped. Note the use of the word think.
Yeah. Because if you try to wait for the next yellow and you haven't, you're going to push all the fluid out of it, and then you're really in trouble.
You're not surprised. We've seen several good cars come down pit road. Todd Cleaver, Jack Roush's rookie driver this year, has been on pit road. Reed Sorensen made a pit stop, which he didn't have to restart this race in the back. There we see Sorensen leaving. It's quite unusual. Marty?
Well, BP made several changes on Reed Sorensen's car. He called it undrivable, extremely tight. They put a spring rubber on the right rear, 2 rounds of wedge out of the left rear, and they changed tires on the car. So they were not very happy with the way it handled early on for Reed Sorensen.
Well, that's what I was going to say, BP. I think some of these guys' cars are probably so bad right now that this is the time you can do it, get away with it, because it's a caution, and because the car is that bad, you need to get it in before you wreck it.
And all those changes they made just makes the car want to go around the corner a little bit better. Now, as he goes in the turns the steering wheel, the car wants to, I want to go straight, I don't want to turn. Well, they make the changes to help the car turn.
And you know it was really ill handling when he gives up a position near the front and has to restart at the rear of the field. Pace car to pit road, J.J. Yaley brings them to the green flag.
And they're all single file. Well, how long will it take them to get 3 laps? Backstretch?
Yeah, I'm going to say the backstretch. Never know. It takes so long for these cars to get up to speed. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer on a restart, but we'll see what happens. Somebody gets a really good start back there around 8th, 9th position. They'll normally jump out, but it looks like it's a pretty even restart, except for a guy maybe in 4th place.
They come up to speed, and we check with Dave.
And Bill, Kenny Schrader has pulled the 66 car into the garage area. Right now they're using a hydraulic spreader on the left front of that car, being very careful not to pinch off an oil line to the motor while they're doing so. They're also going to put a skirt around the front of the car, a new skirt, and also work on some other cosmetic things. No suspension parts have come off the car yet, and that's a good sign.
Thanks, Dave. It's Elliott Sadler there, the 90 car that jumped up, couldn't stand it. He's got a little bit of help there from Casey Kane.
Also Greg Biffle in the 16. 3 cars on the outside. Can they make any headway? No.
Yeah, I think they're going to need a little bit more help there, BP. We'll see, but 2 or 3 other cars jump up on that outside line. I think they can get to J.J. Yaley.
Menard thought about it, but then decided to take the low line.
And I'm told the 11 car of Menard has been very, very fast. There comes another fast car, the 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Biffle goes 3 wide on the outside.
Which way is Earnhardt going to go?
I think he's going to go in the middle.
AB?
I talked to Dale Earnhardt Jr. about how he was going to get to the front in this race from 20th starting spot. He said working with the Nextel Cup drivers, the guys with Daytona experience are the guys that I want to run around. Having a pretty fast race car doesn't hurt either, huh, Benny and Wally?
No. He got in the back of Casey King entering the trial.
That was the woe. Looks like Casey King got a little bit loose there. I don't know if there's such thing as a little bit here at Daytona either. Car gets loose here, gets sideways, and it opens your eyes.
Now the 33, Tony Stewart behind Junior. Matt.
Now, Bill, at the beginning of the show, we had that great shot of all the spotters on the roof, and one of those spotters was Mark Robertson, Tony's Nextel Cup spotter. Now, Mark told me when they run the Busch Series, he doesn't really work a lot with the other spotters because, A, he's not really sure who half of them work for, and B, when it comes to restrictor plate racing, by the time you try to make a deal with somebody, time has already passed. So basically, Tony's just going to hook up with his buddy Dale Earnhardt Jr. and some of the other DEI/RCR cars. AB?
Greg Biffle doesn't have a lot of laps in race trim in this 16 car in this race. They had a little incident in the Elliott Sadler, A.J. Foyt the fourth crash, David Green crash on Wednesday in practice, nicked up the right side of that car. Their backup car isn't fast enough that they want to race, so Biffle had to be very cautious in drafting practice to not ding this car up.
Sorry, Alan. He's got Clint Boyer in the 2 car looking on the outside for the lead. Will he get some help? Maybe Elliott Sadler could get there to help him.
Oh, the 5 car wanted to come out and get in front of Elliott Sadler. Could not do it. That's Sadler on the outside in the 90.
Yaley in the 18 with John Andretti right behind him in the 10.
I'll tell you what, those cars on the bottom are running awfully close to each other right now.
I tell you, that is John Andretti has been so impressive because when they threw the green today, that was his first laps drafting in this 10 car because he did not have a starting spot. He had to concentrate on qualifying. Dave Burns.
And car owner Greg Pollux told me yesterday during Busch pole qualifying, they actually did not test very well in the 10 car. Went home and cut it up. He said it's been a long time since I spent the money to cut up a race car, but they worked very hard on that 10. It was great in qualifying and runs up front now, Alan.
The 00 car, a new look for Johnny Sauter in 2006. This is the Gene Haas car. This is a Hendrick chassis and a Hendrick engine. Johnny and crew chief Harold Holly very excited before the race about their prospects for winning at Daytona. Johnny said this could be a lot of fun today. Marty?
Alan, 2 behind him, Paul Menard in that 11 car. He missed the Daytona 500, and he told me this morning this car is excellent. I can put it anywhere on the racetrack, and it'll work for me. Low, high, in the middle, doesn't matter. The 11 car, very fast.
Thanks, Marty. And as we watch the front of the field, this is off the rear of Kyle Busch's car. We can tell you Carl Edwards has worked his way up to 23rd from the rear of the field.
And outside line starting to creep up there. Jeff Burton in the 21 car.
Clint Boyer's going to try it again.
He's got a little bit more help this time around.
Pretty good string of cars on the outside with him. Casey Kane's up there on the outside. Now, that's not a shock to us folks that watch NASCAR racing pretty regular because he loves the outside groove. The 9 car.
I'd say Yaley's got some good stuff.
Yeah, apparently.
Marty, you're watching Jeff Burton?
Yeah, and his car is a little bit tight, Bill. He said it's starting to float the nose really badly in the middle of the corners. He told the crew, you cannot loosen me up enough on this next stop. I think the weather threw everybody for a little bit of a loop today. It's about probably 5 to 10 degrees warmer than it was yesterday, and the cars were set up, and that's a battle for the lead, 3 wide. Dave?
And Marty, that car is Elliott Sadler in the 90. As he takes the lead on the outside of Clint Boyer, can he hold it? It's going to be tough. They're coming together, guys. Remember, that's a backup car for Sadler in the 90. Alan mentioned the incident the other day that started things off. They had to go to the backup, and they're very pleased that this second car for Elliott over the weekend is running as well as it is.
What was that recipe again?
Thank goodness J.J. Yaley backed off the throttle down in turn 1.
That would have taken about 20 of them.
And we're not done yet here.
Where did Jeff Burton in the middle come from to take the lead?
Jeff Burton, who's on the pole for the Daytona 500 tomorrow. Rides in that 21 car.
This is a handful right here. Let me tell you what, as hot as this racetrack is today and as slippery as it is to run 3 wide, 2 or 3 rows deep. And here's that bump draft that we were talking about. Doing it right down the straightaway, then he lets off in the corner. And see how it shot the car forward? That's what you're looking to do when you bump draft. This racetrack is going to be real greasy here before this race is over.
The hotter it is, the slicker it is. Is that basically how it works out?
Yes.
And that makes it a handful for these guys. Jeff Burton trying to get the lead from Clint Boyer. We'll take a break. If anything breaks out, we'll break in. You're watching NASCAR live on TNT. They continue to scramble at the front of the field in the Hershey's Kissables 300, the season opening race for the NASCAR Busch Series. TNT Sports Live at Daytona Beach, where Casey Kane is the leader.
That's Brian Vickers running second in the 57 car. Looks like Biffle on the outside.
Murray's in there. Burton still at the front. Clint Boyer, Yaley, 7th last time by. And that green 18 car on the inside.
Edmund Murray started back in 36th and has worked his way up to 5th. Wow.
Matt on Yaley.
You see, he's on the bottom still, and that was his game plan. He really didn't want to come off the bottom, judging from what people have seen this past week. The problem, most of the fast cars have moved to the outside, shuffled them back a little bit. Now he's just trying to get a big push. That's what he really needs now, Bill.
Always helps, Matt. Let's go on board with Kenny Wallace, Wally. See how he's handling today.
I'll take a look at his hands. He's got his hands full.
This is turn 2.
Copy 11 with you.
Oh!
Looking inside.
You hear him get out of the throttle. Car came up on him and he had to get out of the gas.
Johnny Sauter. I think Johnny Sauter got a little bit loose off the corner, had to go up, save the car, and almost got in the 22 of Wallace.
Got one with him down there.
Sounds like a flight controller.
Callan,
The audio from the spotter is slightly delayed to our television coverage, but obviously instantaneous to the driver.
And the reason why it's delayed was, well, the reason why we didn't hear the finish of Kenny's sentences.
Basically, yes.
For Texas.
Kind of like we wishing we had on you sometimes.
Yeah. Sounds like these guys handling issues are bad. I mean, there's a lot of cars that are pushing really bad right now. They're not wanting to turn. We have to keep an eye open and see if these guys run into right front tire problems as we get closer to the pit stop.
And inside.
Because if you're pushing that much, sometimes you'll really hurt the right front tire.
Talking to the crew, and the adjustment you make. Do not do something that's going to loosen me up getting in the corner.
That means he's already there, right?
Which means he doesn't want to go any further. That's right.
Still inside. Still at your corner.
Puts his hand out the window to get some air into the car down the backstretch. Now, let's watch what happened just a second ago.
That's a lot of right turn. That steering wheel. And he just reacted to the car drifting up. That was going to run into him.
Denny Schrader has returned to the race. Currently scored 19 laps down. Back up front, Greg Biffle has assumed the lead.
I'll tell you what, some of these cars have some handling issues. The 18 car, the pole sitter, J.J. Yaley, he's worked his way back to 11th. The 90 car, Elliott Sadler, we saw up battling for the lead. He's all the way back about 25th or something. Dave Burns.
And BP, he may pit early. His car started running hot. And he was one of those cars that had to qualify up front. I don't believe this car was good on points to get into the race. And we saw that a lot last night in the Craftsman Truck Series race that was won here. Guys coming in early for overheating trucks. And today cars that maybe had a little bit too much tape on them couldn't take enough off to give cool air to the motor today. And Elliott had to get out of the pack and cool that thing down.
Now here's one problem these Busch drivers have. Because they have the big 22-gallon fuel cell. They can run 50, 55 laps on gasoline, but I don't know that the right front tire will last that long.
I agree on that, especially if these cars are pushing that bad.
Now, where is Junior? There he is. Alan, what's he saying?
He's saying that he raced up into there a little bit earlier, VP, right? We saw him run up toward the front. Then we saw him drop back to like 24th.
Yes.
Too wild. Waiting for the herd to thin a little bit. Now he's going to pick his way through a little less dense traffic jam.
Alan, you know if he says it's too wild, there's a lot going on out there.
Yeah, exactly. Marty.
Alan, the man right behind him is Jamie McMurray, and I think he's happy camping out behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. He told me before the race, we're going to be horrible today. The car has not been good in practice at all. Then he came on the radio a few laps in and said, hey, guys, we're quick. We're pretty good. Ran up to the front and then decided to drop back with Junior. I think you're going to see these guys ride here for a little while and wait for something up front to happen, hopefully not involving them.
And something could happen. If it does, we'll let you know. We'll take a break. Greg Biffle is scored as the race leader at Daytona.
Well, we're working lap 26 here today of 120. Greg Biffle is out on point in that number 16 Ford from the Roush stable. He's got Casey Kane in tow. Jeff Burton, our pole sitter tomorrow for the next Cup race. He's running third with Clint Boyer, Kyle Busch, Brian Vickers. Got a whole load of Chevrolets, including Denny Hamlin, Jason Leffler, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. has worked his way up to 9th. John Andretti, our favorite rookie, has dropped down to 10th. Jimmy McMurray has moved his way up as well. He's running 11th. J.J. Yeley, Paul Menard, and it keeps going on and on. Anyway, Paul Tracy, who started 37th today, has actually done a fine job. He's kept his nose clean, which is a bit of a surprise for all of us who know him from the Champ Car Series. Paul's running a very respectable 16th place as we see the 77 car, the Dollar General car, getting around. I believe we're still riding along with Kevin Harvick. Everything's gone off to a pretty decent start. We've only had that one caution for Ken Schrader's blown tire. But other than that, everyone's kept their nose clean. A little bit of a wild section there, the first 10 laps or so, where there was some 3 abreast running, but now it looks like cooler heads are prevailing. Everyone's wanting to save their right tire. They don't want to have to go all the way to the end of their fuel cell and when they run dry with a shoddy right tire. So I think they're all playing a waiting game right now, just trying to conserve their cars and try to get at least to that first pit stop and make the adjustments that need to be made. We were riding along with Kenny Wallace in the number 22 car, and we saw Kenny have to make some serious corrections as he got pushed up a little bit to the high side. He was actually having to go full lock to the right, and when you only turn left in a NASCAR race, going full right is a pretty spectacular move, and he kept his nose clean. He lost a few spots, but Kenny has actually kept himself relatively competitive. He's running 14th. He's in company, in fact, with Paul Menard, and he's got Paul Tracy, as a matter of fact, right behind him. Other rookies in the field, let's see, Bernie Lamar out of California. He's running a pretty decent 17th place so far. A lot of people don't know Bernie Lamar, but he's certainly one to be looking out for this year. He'll be driving for the Kevin Harvick team, so he'll have good equipment as he tries to make an impression here in the NASCAR Busch Series. So as we continue to ride along with Kevin Harvick, Bernie Lamar's teammate, and he gets past the number 12, we're going to send you back to Benny Parsons, to Bill Weber, to Wally Dahlbeck, Alan Bestwick, the entire TNT crew for more coverage of this, the Hershey Kissables 300, live from Daytona.
Back at Daytona, Elliott Sadler has been on and off pit road in the 90 car. He had a flat left front tire. He discovered it while he was at speed on the track. He brought it down to pit road safely. They were able to change 4 tires and get him back out. The left front completely destroyed. He had to come in.
The car's still smoking, Dave. I don't know if they've got all the problems taken care of. There's a lot of smoke coming from that 90 car.
It may be that the tire came apart enough and knocked an oil line off the 90 car. That's sometimes happened. The other day in practice Dave, what's going on?
Or perhaps as the tire was disintegrating, the rubber coming off and wrapping itself around the hub or something in there.
The brakes maybe. It could be.
He's staying below the yellow line on the apron of the track.
Yeah, he's not
Trouble, turn 4.
Caution is out.
Oh, don't slide up there.
Reed Sorensen.
Sure is.
Oh, wow.
That's somebody that doesn't understand the rules right there.
Yeah.
AB.
I believe Johnny Sauter has lost the right front there, guys. You see his car. Yeah, well, that's visual confirmation, huh?
I kind of thought that was coming. For as bad as these cars were pushing, that's normally what happens. The first thing you start thinking about is right front blown out.
And this is exactly the point in the Nextel Cup we saw front tire issues. 29 laps.
Saw that Thursday in the twin qualifying races here. The 43 car of Aaron Fike.
Outside pole sitter.
There you see Sauter. I mean, just that tire let go. He had no place to go, and Aaron Fike was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not sure what happened with Reed.
That's exactly what I was wondering. We might want to look at that again.
Reed got tagged up in the corner. He got tagged up in the corner. Here we go. See, the 41 is coming along.
Oh, I got him right in the quarter, right at the bumper. Yep. Yeah. You're good, BP.
See, Johnny Sauter had slowed down, almost crashed the lap previous, and I watched him down the front radio. He was slow. I guess he was waiting for that caution flag. And when you wait for that caution flag, you become the caution
Yes,
flag.
sir. You're right. Exactly right.
I don't know why these guys are going so fast when these guys are wrecking. They've had enough time to see the wreck is happening. You still got guys that are flying, trying to hurry up to get to the wreck.
Mike Walter looks back. Ashley's in
Right in
front.
front of you. You see him down. You see him. Come on down if you can. You see it. Come on up. See the 41 right there. You got one inside you. Clear low. There you go. Come on.
Now here it is, real speed. Watch and listen. The caution is out at Daytona. You're watching NASCAR live on TNT.
Well, as the field still runs around the Daytona International Speedway behind the pace car, we'll be going, like Bill Weber said, back to green flag racing here in probably 2 or 3 laps or so as the field worked its way back into formation. What can we say? Well, Casey Kane obviously is still leading. Worth noting, Paul Tracy, the Canadian, has moved himself into 9th place. He avoided that accident, drove down to the low side, kept his nose clean, did a fine job avoiding the wreck of Carl Edwards and Paul Menard. And the Canadian's doing quite well. He could be a top 10 finisher. We'll just have to wait and see. Bit of a shame that Tony Stewart, the defending race champion, he's had his problems, but that crew will be, the Kevin Harvick crew will be sure to get that car back out there. And we haven't heard the last of Tony Stewart, I don't think. Let's see, let's do a quick rundown. Casey Kane leads from Greg Biffle. Brian Vickers third. Earnhardt is fifth, just behind John Andretti. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Jeff Burton, Paul Tracy, Jason Leffler round out the top 10. Jason Leffler was kind of the villain in that scene. Not the first time that Jason's been involved in some controversy moves, but anyway, he's running in the top 10. He's got Clint Boyer behind him. Rookie Bernie Lamar's running 12. David Reutemann, a quiet 13th place, but he's doing a fine job. Pole winner J.J. Yeley, well, he's dropped down just a little bit in that Joe Gibbs Chevrolet Monte Carlo. The number 18 car is currently running 14th ahead of Kenny Wallace and another rookie, Todd Cleaver, in 16th. As we're looking down NASCAR's live timing and scoring, we see that Jamie McMurray is running in 19th. Let's see who else. Mark McFarland, we haven't heard anything from him today in that 88 car, but he's got to be good because he's running for GR Motorsport. Translated, that's Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team. There is DEI, the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated team, of course, of Paul Menard and Dale Earnhardt Jr. But then there's the JR team that's running Mark McFarland this year for the Rookie of the Year honors. He's just ahead of Kevin Harvick, who's down in 25th. What else can we say? Stedman Marlin, the son of Sterling Marlin, he's here today, but he's not showing too much as of yet. He's running in 24th, just ahead of the Roush rookie, Danny O'Quinn. John Wood, of course, he's a truck craftsman driver. He's running 26th, and so on and so on. So, in just a few more seconds, we'll be going back for, hopefully, the restart. We're working lap 44 of 120, so pit stops should be coming about, not this time like that one crew chief had said. They've just got a few laps on fresh tires. But I would venture to say that the next yellow flag period, we'll see the entire field come down, get new rubber. Anyway, we're going back to racing. Enjoy it. Motors TV, right here.
Looking back at some of the history of the NASCAR Busch Series. Wait a second. This doesn't look that old.
What in the world is this? Who is that?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The person that's going to hit the wall extremely hard.
That was the 88 car a couple of years ago, driven by...
Oh! Now, why did you hit that guy, Wally?
He's in my way.
Now, what about this crash?
That one's the one that hurt.
I think it did.
Yeah.
It looked like it did.
You haven't fully recovered from that, have you?
No, slight brain damage, Bill. Still there.
All right.
You hit hard here, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Fun moments with Wally Dallenbach.
Okay, cars forming up off turn 4 for the green flag restart. Elliott Sadler on the inside of the 90 car is a couple laps down.
Top 17 guys did not pit. And 4 cars have to go to the rear for not slowing down when they went down pit road when the caution came out. Getting ready to go back to green. 76 laps to go.
We still have 35 cars in the lead lap. Leader is Casey Kane in 9. Greg Biffle 16 is a second. We have the third spot being contested.
Yeah, Biffle's going down the low side. He's going to use Elliott Sadler to try to get past Casey Kane. Gonna work. Then there's some guys on the high side. Earnhardt Jr. to be one of them in the 8 car.
Getting the push from Kyle Busch in 5.
Boy, Jr.'s got to run there. He's just got no place to go with it right there. He's going to get Casey a little loose, maybe.
Let's hope not. It's not good when the leader spins out.
O'Quinn, Neuenberger, Keller, and Sorensen were the 4 drivers that had to restart at the rear of the field.
What was that about again? Going through the pits without reducing your speed?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you can take the pit lane if there's a crash in front of you, but you just have to show that you're trying to slow down a little bit.
Casey Kane moved up in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. to see if that 8 car will push him on by the 90, and 16 looks like it's going to work.
Alan, how about Earnhardt?
Earnhardt Jr. is saying his car's pretty good, just needs to get up front with some track position, thinks he can do it, but it just hasn't worked out. Every time he's gotten himself in a position in line, the cautions come out or somebody's jumped out of line behind. You know, one of those things where he just hasn't had the pieces fall into play quite yet. Marty?
Now, in the meantime, Casey Kane trying to keep that 9 car up front. He said the car is extremely fast. He likes it on the bottom grooves. He can keep it down there, though. This track is getting very slick, guys, and there's a lot of tight race cars out here.
Paul Tracy is having an impressive run on that red and white number 34 car. Been trying to get to the NASCAR Busch Series for about 3 years. And Wally, when your dad used to run Indy cars, they had an air jack system built in for the pit stops, correct?
That's right.
Well, that's what Paul Tracy's used to. The only mistake he's made today when he pitted too close to the wall, lost a little bit of time. They told him next time, just give yourself more room, but he's having a fantastic day.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the front. And you can imagine how the fans here at Daytona feel about that.
Clint Boyer, the 2 car, followed by Jason Leffler in 32. That's Denny Hamlin in the 20. Winner of the Budweiser Shootout last Sunday.
Alan?
Yeah, just keep an eye on Clint Boyer in that, too. Remember the replays from his onboard camera, that big wreck build that he just missed?
Right.
They think they might have nicked something enough that they might have a fender rubbing on a tire. They're trying to watch for smoke, and Clint's trying to see if he can feel anything from behind the wheel. Looks good so far, though.
Sure does. Boy, we're very excited about this season. He's going to do double duty, both in the Busch Series and Nextel Cup, and wants to win the Busch Series championship.
Is he the guy that the piece hit the windshield?
I don't know.
I don't think that was his car.
No.
I think it was Boyer. I'm told Michael Walker was the guy that got tagged in the windshield.
Matt, what are you working on?
Well, Bill, Delana Harvick's other driver in the field, young Bernie Lamar, impressive run last week in trying to gain experience running the ARCA race on Sunday. Finished 4th, having a very strong run today in the 12th position. Right now, the car just a tick on the tight side, just waiting on his friend. There he is, the 29, Kevin Harvick, as he squeezes through the middle. Bernie's probably just going to try to latch onto him. That was the game plan from the start. Try to either get with Harvick or Tony Stewart.
That is a great shot right there. That is from Harvick's view. In the middle, coming off the board, going through the tri-oval right now. This is where you got to be really careful when you're driving because your car wants to get loose right here.
Brian Vickers in 57 directly in front of Harvick. Oh, what's that water?
Where that came from?
I don't know.
That's a huge bug.
Jason Leffler in the 32, Casey Kane in the 9.
You see how much these cars are moving around, and that's just the way these cars are on a racetrack like this. Big and fast. They really move around the racetrack.
I think a lot of you fans have experienced going down the highway when you pull up behind a truck and all that turbulence comes off the truck.
34 cars around, up the wall, up the track to the wall. Paul Tracy. I was just talking about how well he was running.
But boy, that apron did some damage on the nose of that car.
Bring it right to pit road right now. We're going to change 4 tires. Pull the fenders out. We're going to change 4 tires. Doesn't look like we have a lot of damage. Bring it to pit road right now.
There's a car behind him that was involved as well.
He's got a lot of damage to that nose of that race car, so they're going to have to get that fixed in order to be even halfway competitive.
Sterling Marlin's son Stedman in the 95 car.
And was there a third car on the apron as well?
Yes, there's a white car sitting up there, Bill. Joe Nemechek.
He's going to need more than brakes now. Let's go back and take a look.
See what happened here. There's Paul Tracy on the top. He just get tagged by John Andretti.
Biffle just missed it.
Just got tagged in the left rear quarter panel. Doesn't take much when you're in the corners here at Daytona. You look at the fender wrong, you go sideways.
And John just touches Tracy in the left rear. Denny, that 4 car, Mark Green drove down on the apron.
And we still don't see what happened to Stedman Marlin and Joe.
Well, I think, well, I don't know. My guess is that Stedman backed off and Joe ran into him.
Right. You've been here before, huh?
Somewhere back there.
Yeah, there is somebody hitting somebody back there. That's watching the back of the screen there. You see that Nemechek right there coming down the track.
He ran in the back of the 95 car up high. If you roll it back, I can show you where it all starts. All right, cars on pit road.
Marty.
Well, Bill, the plan was for Jeff Burton, if everybody else came with him, they were going to take tires. They're going to take right side tires for Jeff Burton, and they're going to take 4 tires now because nobody came, and make several chassis adjustments. Still too tight, Matt.
A chassis adjustment for Kevin Harvick, and they topped him off of fuel and just fixed the little corner of the valence. He's already away. The car still tight, but they are making huge headway, as well as J.J. Yaley. He almost stalls it on his pit stop, leaving his box.
So the field pitting under caution with 51 laps complete. On board with Kenny Wallace moments ago when the caution came out.
This is going to be close, too.
Come on. Keep coming up top, keep coming up top, keep coming all the way, all the way, all the way. Yeah, that's good. Clear all out.
Michael Waltrip.
Front heavy all the way up. He's on the apron. He's on the apron. Coming back up on the track. You got to come down. You see where he is. He's in the middle. He's up. Now he's on the apron. Come on up. Come up. Come up. There you go. There you go. Nice job.
Spotters doing their job, trying to keep their driver out of trouble. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the race leader in the Hershey's Kissables 300. Tomorrow, the day every driver dreams about, a chance to win the Daytona 500. Our coverage begins with the Bank of America countdown to green at 1:30 Eastern Time on NBC. Never forget it, do you, BP?
Oh, no. Oh, no, not the Daytona 500. By far the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my racing career.
Field coming to get the green flag. Pace car will head for pit road. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the race leader. Coming around a complete lap 53 of 120 in the Hershey's Kissables 300.
Denny Hamlin in that second place, in that 20 car in second spot. Matt, you have something?
Well, BP, a lot of conversation back and forth whether to stay out like a lot of cars did, or pit like several others, including his teammate J.J. Yaley, but they felt like the track position was more important. The car, not bad, but still a little on the free side.
I didn't realize until last week when Hamlin won the Budweiser shootout how close he and Junior have become. He came down here a couple of years ago and stayed with Junior and his coach. Didn't have a ride, just came down as a spectator at the invitation of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I remember Junior talking about him a while back, about his ability and about how far he thought he could go in NASCAR racing. Check in with Dave.
Caught up with Joe Nemechek in the garage area now. Joe, your accident happened well behind the initial accident. What went on back there?
You know, everybody was in a big group. I finally got brakes back on my car, and we were going back to the front. The car was just a shame. I mean, this number 87 car, Denver Mattress Company came on board, and it was fast, but at first something come up off the track and broke the left front brake line early, so we didn't have brakes. I just had rear brakes. We finally got a right front brake, and we didn't quite have enough time to get the left front hooked up there. And, I mean, everybody just started checking up, and it's one of those accordion deals. It's just a shame we're out so early.
It's a double disappointment for Joe. One, it's Daytona. Secondly, they're trying to attract sponsorship for this car. They had to let half their staff go over the winter, and are just trying to make a few races to get somebody on the side panel so they can hire a few more back.
Thanks, Dave. Now watch the very top of the screen here.
Right there. Right there.
And it looked like there were a couple other cars in front of that. David Green got some front end damage from running into somebody there as well. And there's Paul Tracy. That's just a moment ago.
Yeah, you know, when you bust up the front of the car like he did, I'm sure that car is not handling very well. It doesn't have the downforce it needs, and probably went in the corner, pushed up the racetrack, got into the wall.
No downforce to help the car turn, so up the racetrack it goes.
He has been black flagged by NASCAR. Does not obviously have much experience in these cars, certainly not on this track, but has shown his talents before, and he knows that it's going to be a battle learning to drive these cars. So Tracy goes to pit road. We go to the front of the field. Earnhardt Jr.
Here's a challenge. And I thought Hamlin was going to look on the inside. Here is a challenge by the 5 car of Kyle Busch.
These are cars that did not pit, Alan.
Kyle Busch told me before the race, Bill, to look for he and his Hendrick Motorsports teammate Brian Vickers to work together, the 5 and 57 cars. They're now together near the front of the field. Kyle just came on the radio and said, together we're fast. Watch to see if they can draft up to the front. Marty?
Alan, look out for Casey Kane, who said his car is extremely fast. He said, I know one thing is for sure. They're beating the heck out of my bumper, getting pushed up through the field right now.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight line right there.
Man, is it ever.
Out of turn 2, down the backstretch.
Now that outside line should pick up. Kyle Busch doesn't have much help down there on the bottom right now, the 5 car.
Some different race strategies playing out here. Top 13 cars did not pit under the last caution. We have seen some tire issues here today.
Boy, I'm hearing a lot of lifting off that throttle, BP.
I think Biffle was trying to figure out if the 5 car was going to come up the racetrack or if he could stick it in there. He decided wisely to back off and let the 5 car have some racetrack.
That's experience.
Yes.
On board with Kyle Busch. That's Biffle. Harvick in the 29. Harvick will run 3 different numbers, 3 different cars in the first 3 races of this year. Got a very aggressive schedule in 2006.
Well, looks like a 3-wide move. Yep. Casey Kane to the bottom. Harvick goes with him. Jeff Burton goes with Harvick.
And Denny Hamlin gets left in the middle. Comes Jeff Burton. How about McMurray, Marty?
Well, for a guy who was bad-mouthing his car before this race started, McMurray's awfully fast, up in the 2nd position. And again, following his buddy Dale Earnhardt Jr., they worked awfully well together today. He said the car is still a little bit tight, and the last adjustment did not help as much as he thought it would, so they planned further adjustments to loosen up that 64 car.
Charlie Sauter has returned to the race. He scored 30 laps down. Trying to get as many points as possible.
Goes Hamlin to the bottom to make it 3 wide. Puts Burton back a spot or 2. J.J. Yeley in the 18 is going to try to close that gap.
There's McMurray stuck in the middle. Burton's going to try and come up and help him. Completing lap 61 past the halfway mark here in the Hershey's Kissables 300.
Trying to get to the bottom, McMurray is. He didn't want to be in the middle for very long.
We've heard a report that the 21 of Jeff Burton might be pushing some water.
Is that the car that on board a moment ago that down in the corner we saw the big spot of water?
That was Harvick.
That is a bump draft. Junior sounded like he's getting out of the throttle a little bit too, BP. I think, you know, this track is so hot and greasy.
And look what happens when he backed off the throttle just a little bit. They just drove by him. Oh, I'm sorry, he's up front still. Who's that we're all
Harvick.
with?
That was Harvick.
Yeah. Okay.
Harvick is the Hershey's Kissables and Earnhardt is the Oreos.
Okay. All right, here comes that 9 of Casey Kane on the outside. He is fast.
Got a run. Got a good run right now.
Look at that 8 car all by itself.
Ooh, Biffle popping the bumper.
Kane moves down in front of Earnhardt. McMurray in the 64, Biffle in the high groove.
Biffle's up there.
He is up there. When you said high groove, you are not exaggerating, Bill.
No man's land up there, isn't it?
It is. Weber, I thought that the 9 car was going to lead that lap, but Biffle comes back.
You like the aerodynamic package on these cars, don't you, Benny?
No, I love it because these guys can pass much more easily than can the Cup cars, especially for the lead. The Cup cars can pass back in the pack, but for the lead, it's a struggle.
This field has also managed to spread itself out significantly. Biffle leads, Payne second, McMurray third in the 64, Earnhardt Jr. in the 8.
And McMurray just drives down to get in front of that 8 car and hope he can get the push from him that he needs to go to the front.
Looking back off Biffle's bumper. We talked about how some of these guys at the front of the field did not pit last time. Earnhardt was one of them. He last pitted on lap 33. That's 30 laps ago. Once again this year, we will take you through the field to find out how your favorite driver is doing. Of course, at Daytona and Talladega, it's more like around the field as often as they swap spots. Let's start with Alan.
And the leader, Greg Biffle, Bill, who was where he told me before the race he wanted to be all day out in front. Why? Very simple. Less trouble there. Marty?
Casey Kane is where he wants to be. Actually, he's not where he wants to be. He'd rather be in that bottom groove. That's where his car seems to work better. They were guessing about the weather this afternoon, worried they didn't hit the setup right. Obviously, they did. Jamie McMurray is underneath them in that black 64 car, going some places. Wants some more air pressure adjustments to try and get that car better. That is Jeff Burton in the middle. It just swung up to the high side. Remember, he pitted back on lap 52 with 4 new tires. He has moved his way to the front. The car now loose. Remember earlier he said, you can't loosen me up enough. Now he's too loose. Alan?
Well, not much on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s radio about his car, just the non-stop chatter of spotter Joey Meyer high atop the grandstand, telling Jr. 2 wide, 3 wide, which line is moving, trying to help keep his driver out of trouble. Solid run for Brian Vickers in this 57 car. He started the day in 26th position. He's moved his way up into the top 10, knocking around for these top 5 spots now. He and his teammate Kyle Busch still trying to draft together, Matt.
Kevin Harvick having a great run, running 6th on the inside line. Now, they've been working on that tight condition, trying to slowly work it out. They take advantage every pit stop. He's trying to get into victory lane. He's never finished out of the top 10 in a Busch car here at Daytona. And the 18R pole sitter, J.J. Yaley, he is working the bottom. He's got his teammate, Denny Hamlin, who is behind. Hamlin needs to work the outside line. J.J. works better on the bottom.
Well, Kyle Busch just came on the radio, and he was trying to encourage his teammate, Brian Vickers, to draft in a certain spot on the racetrack. When Vickers moves away from the line that Kyle wants, the airflow over that 5 car makes Kyle's front end loose grip. Matt?
The red 33, the defending winner of this event, Tony Stewart, now back up on the high side. Major work in progress this entire race. His crew chief, Wally Rogers, they have done everything. Wedge, track bar, air pressure, significant adjustments, even changing a shock. And if they get a caution, Marty, the next up they're going to change the right front shock. Still tight.
Matt, Reed Sorensen flirting with the top 10. Yes, the same Reed Sorensen we saw sliding backwards across the racetrack earlier. The same one who had to make an unscheduled stop early in the race. He has fought his way back up to the 13th position. The car very fast, reported to the crew during this run. Best it's been all day long, guys. Dave?
John Andretti in and out of the top 10 seemingly every lap right now, running back in the 13th position. John caused that last wreck by tapping Paul Tracy. They thought about coming in to fix right front damage, and J.J. Yaley seems to have the problem, guys. Pole sitter.
Off the pace on the front stretch. Now crawling into turn 1.
I see some smoke, but it looks like a tire situation as much as it does engine. I'm not sure.
Matt?
And the 18, J.J. Yaley, says he thinks the left front tire is down. Jason Ratcliffe, you can see him on the screen, yelling at the guys up on the wall, get ready for our driver. Now they just have to sit and wait. The biggest thing he has to do now is to take it slow so that that tire does not come apart, rip apart that left front fender and ruin the aerodynamics of that Chevrolet.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunately where it happened, though, they got a long wait anyway. He's going to go down 2 or 3 laps if they don't throw the caution, because he did it the worst possible spot. He's already went past pit entrance, so he's got to come all the way around the racetrack as the field's coming out of turn 2 right now.
No caution flag. So Yaley with the slow ride back to pit road.
And there shouldn't be a caution flag because he did get out of the groove. The tire hasn't come apart. There's no rubber on the racetrack, so let him race.
Well, we're going through the field. It looked like Leffler got awfully close to the wall, too, in that 32 car.
I think he actually hit the wall. Yeah, he got close enough to hit it.
Off turn 2 a moment ago?
Yes.
If he didn't, he missed it. Good, awfully good chance.
Lost a couple of spots, but got him back. Now runs 13th.
There he is on the high side above the 5 car and just gets into it. Not too bad, though.
Matt.
Bill, our pole sitter, slowly comes to a stop in his pit box. They are going to change left side tires only. They've lost so much time on the racetrack. He hits the lug. They don't want to lose anymore, so only a 2-tire stop for Yaley. Tough break. Let's go back up front.
Jamie McMurray under Greg Biffle for the lead with Earnhardt Jr. watching in the 8.
How about that? And who said he was complaining about his car? Talking about McMurray in that 64?
That was Marty that was throwing him under the bus.
That was I, VP. Hey, told me before, we're junk. We're not going to be any good today. This is, you should believe race car drivers. Wally, you guys lie for a living more than you do drive race cars, don't you? But coaching him, that man right there, Rusty Wallace, he's on the radio. You can tell Rusty just hates not being in the race car here at Daytona. He's been coaching him on what to do with the chassis, how to drive his line. He's been helping him along. He's never been to victory lane at Daytona in a points-paying race. Would love to get there with his own race team, RWI, this afternoon.
Marty, you got your pit stop chart there handy?
I do indeed.
When was the last time the 64 was in? It was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was back on lap 30-something, Bill. I don't have the exact number written down. Yeah, 33, exactly right. I just now found it. Lap 33 was the last time they pitted, so they're doing this all with old tires. And remember, Jeff Burton back behind him has those fresh tires.
Thank you, sir. Well done.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
He's run quite a few laps, but most of these laps, a lot of laps have been under the caution flag, so he's probably getting up to about 30, 35 laps on green flag, and we know what happens at that point.
Looking for Clint Boyer.
Boyer's dropped back to 29th position. Hey, B, what's going on with Clint?
Yeah, you got to look a long ways back to find him right now, Wally. When the car gets into a position where we can show the very front end of the car, what we and the team are both looking for as this car comes by at 190 miles an hour is a hole in that front nose piece of the car. The aerodynamics on these cars are so sensitive. When he came so close to that wreck a little while ago, they're wondering if it didn't punch a hole in that sensitive front aerodynamic piece that's causing the car to just slide up the racetrack in the corners instead of turn like he needs it to.
I don't see anything from here, Alan, but
Rub or something.
all right, well, the 66 car in front of him is not going to have much water left in a hurry because he's pushing it out all over the windshield of Clint Boyer.
That's Schrader in the 66. Schrader is 21 laps down.
At the front of the car, you know, by where we were sitting, looked fairly clean.
And Schrader's finally figured out it's going to blow up, or he did already. He's off the pace.
So a tough day for Schrader. There's a good look at the front of the 2.
Don't see a thing.
They watching down there, Alan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't see anything that would cause a huge aero push.
He's 29th.
Checking to see if Schrader put down any debris up in turn 3. If he dropped down.
Earnhardt Jr. coming back to the lead under McMurray. Biffle behind him.
J.J. Yeley would go, what, a couple laps down?
He's already 2.
That would be 3 down if he gets by him?
Yes. Again, Earnhardt, Biffle, McMurray among the cars that did not pit on lap 51. Now, this is just a moment ago. Kyle Busch in the middle. Ruderman in the 12. Hamlin in the 20. Whoa.
Wow. That is an unbelievable job by Kyle Busch not to crash.
That's a good save.
Yeah.
Very good save. Obviously drifted up the racetrack thinking he had room, which he did not.
Maybe.
That may not have been a voluntary drift up the racetrack, Bill. The car very tight, meaning the front end won't turn in the corner. Kyle's really wanting a caution now. He just doesn't want to be the caution.
He almost was. Dave?
And that right front damage to John Andretti's car made the car just not want to turn. The caution comes out. This is what they wanted, because now they can pit and not lose all the track position that they were going to.
I think he's hit the wall, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like he hit the wall or blew a right front tire.
The caution is for debris in turn 2.
I would say so.
And it probably came from right there.
Yeah, that would...
Hey guys, obviously John wanted to pit. He was going to come in on this lap and come down to pit road. So there's your ironic turn right there. He wanted to pit. He knew that the right front had been punished in his own word, and that he needed to pit with it.
Okay, we've got this, the long distance view, I believe. Right in the middle of that. There he goes.
Definitely. EP, why can't we get these tires to last?
I don't know. I don't understand that. 30, 35 laps and the right front tire just goes away on these cars. I don't understand it.
And this tire is a little different than the one they had last year because they're trying to solve that problem.
They had the same problem last year, and they came with a different tire, and nothing's changed.
This is a huge break, timing this caution for Earnhardt, McMurray, Biffle, the guys that did not stop back on lap 51.
I mean, it's only, you're sitting there looking at the scoreboard going, okay, well, somebody's going to blow a tire here. Yeah. You know, we're going to get a caution here any lap now. You just hope it's not you.
And they've done enough damage to the 10 car. They've got to take it behind the wall to, if they're going to do any more work, get it back there.
It's unusual to see those rookie stripes on the back of John Andretti's car. Just his second start in the Busch Series. But plans to run for the championship in 2006. You can see the debris on the track and the track crew personnel out there trying to clean it up after the field goes by. Earnhardt, McMurray, Biffle, Tony Stewart, Reed Sorensen in the top 5. Then Jeff Burton, Casey Kane, Ashton Lewis Jr. has worked his way to 8th. Michael Waltrip is 9th, and Denny Hamlin runs in the 10th position. 76 of the 120 laps are complete. Elliott Sadler is the lucky dog.
Well, I would say that, you know, with 50 laps to go or so, 45 laps to go, all the cars can make it from here on fuel. Doesn't matter.
Fuel.
But it doesn't matter. They can't make it on tire.
Exactly.
But Earnhardt has run.
No, but what he's saying is somebody's going to bring out a caution.
Oh, somebody's
so
okay.
You know, he's not going to go green for 50 laps.
So Earnhardt Jr. will lead the field down pit road. And that will be a busy place. Dave, you ready?
I am, Weber, and Michael Waltrip is ready to make that car turn a little bit better to preserve that right front tire. So they're going to put a little extra air pressure into the right rear, take a little extra air pressure out of the left rear, and that will make the car a little bit looser. Also a track bar adjustment. Matt?
In the triples, Tony Stewart, the red 33. The car's still tight. Wally Rogers continues to try to free it up. Significant air pressure adjustment, Marty.
Jamie McMurray's in the middle of that screen running second. Remember their last stop, they left a lug nut loose. He wants half pound on the left side tires, told him a quick stop. AD?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. said the car's tight, the car's loose. I don't know what to tell you to do. Just put 4 tires on it and we'll go from there. So that's what they did.
And Junior heads off of pit road. All the lead lap cars coming down. We'll sort out the running order, and then we'll go back to green flag racing. Dale Earnhardt Jr. scored as the leader after 77 laps.
Green flag, you'll have 27 laps. I don't know how your car failed, but you were real fast on. You were fast on the bottom. You saw it, though.
For everybody, real tight. Hopefully, got it good.
The Hershey's Kissables 300 live from Daytona International Speedway. Brought to you by new Hershey's Kissables chocolates. Candy-coated mini Kisses brand chocolates that are delicious, shareable, adorable, and colorful. By Pizza Hut, home of the new Cheesy Bites Pizza. Gather around the good stuff. By Valvoline Motor Oil, the #1 choice of top mechanics everywhere. And by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series, 25 years running.
Field getting the green. Restart. With 27 laps to go. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Todd Cleaver, McFarlane, Neuenberger, Sauter did not stop. They're the top 5 cars, but look at Jr. pull away.
Well, he has a nice buffer between himself and the fast cars, but, you know, Cleaver and McFarlane.
Wreck behind you.
Oh, we got trouble.
Oh, hard hit. Casey Kane.
He gets it another time. Brian Vickers, 57 involved.
7th caution of the race. And that ties the record for this race.
Oh! Somebody caught him in the rear and just turned him head on in the wall, looks like. Greg Biffle, 16.
Let's go through the replays.
Well, that was Vickers in the 57, but I don't know what caused that.
Probably have to back it up just a little bit. Let's see.
They got bottled up there.
Yeah.
Tony Stewart.
Biffle.
Looks like Biffle got the back of 57, yes.
Casey Kane has reported on the radio he's okay. Got hit once and then twice.
That's the 35 car of Regan Smith.
Oh, man, he just got clipped, Casey Kane. Just barely. Just enough.
Now on board with Greg Biffle.
Wow. Oh, he jacked the back of it.
Check up, go to the bottom, go to the bottom.
Yeah, that's what happens when you pull the rear tires off the racetrack on the car in front of you. He usually loses traction.
On board the Hershey's Kissables ride.
Spin in front of you, go low. They're coming down. Go to the middle.
Go on the grass.
It's coming down there. Okay, keep going there. You got that one car to your outside.
Michael Waltrip.
Have you all the way down? You clear all the way down. Clear up, clear up. In the middle.
And that was a
Right
nice
in the middle.
job.
Go up, gas and go, gas and go. Good job.
All set. The 9 of Kane, the 16 of Biffle. Heavily damaged. To the garage for Biffle. They'll need some help getting the 9 car off the track. Think there's any chance that Junior would consider pitting?
Not now.
Not after seeing that.
Because he's in front of it where you want to be, right?
Yes.
It's where he'll want to be tomorrow, too.
Plus, every one of these laps under caution is just another easy lap on his tires.
You get an accordion or a domino effect.
See, here's what happened in that deal, I think. We had some cars that stayed out that were not as fast as Vickers and Biffle and all those fast cars. And when they got down the corner, they were just going slower than they anticipated. And as you said, Bill, that accordion effect took over, and bam, about 6th or 7th car back.
It always happens.
Yeah.
I mean, every time this situation when you got some fast cars behind slower cars in the field all day, it just, guys get jammed up.
And you saw how quickly Earnhardt was able to get away. But as Benny talked about, 2 or 3 cars back, the rest of the field couldn't hang on to him.
Yeah.
Those were the guys that stayed out. Marty?
Well, in that melee, Jamie McMurray said he slid his tires just a little bit to think that they may not be good enough to race on late in this run. So just to be precautionary, came down pit road, took on 4 brand new tires, and he said that the car's going to be fast, but he's got a lot of ground to make up now. Alan?
Well, here's what Tony Eury Sr. was thinking. Besides that the pit strategy didn't work out the way that they hoped it would, they were expecting some more people would stay out. Their car has been better out front. They wanted to make sure they stayed out front, didn't get back in the traffic for something like that to happen on a late restart. They've got a fresh set of tires in their pits. Everyone else, if we get another caution and people choose to come to pit road, they've got to put on used tires that have at least a couple of laps of qualifying practice on them. The other thing is that Tony says their car's driving so well, and the downforce on this car is so great with this rules package, that strip across the roof and so on, that the car won't slide around as much on the older tires as it might, say, tomorrow in the Nextel Cup Series race. He said, sure, we would have liked to been on equal tires with everyone, but I'm really not all that worried about it as long as we're out front.
Being out front there was the right place to be, Alan.
Good move.
So that might not have,
move.
That might not have been the strategy they had in mind, but it sure worked out for them. Now, when you come to Daytona, everybody talks about the big one, the big wreck. That wasn't a huge one, but you normally see it when you put this many cars in these tight packs. It's the Nextel Cup Series. 1 year ago.
And that, folks, is the big one.
And you can see it doesn't take much. Scott Wimmer, watch Wimmer here. The 22 car. Biffle. And a lot of times, it's not one mistake. It's guys going for the same position, similar to what we saw coming off of turn 4 here a little earlier today.
Yeah, you only have so much room to work with. Your cars are sliding around, especially if it's hot as it is today. Tomorrow, the racetrack is going to be a handful for these drivers, and you just gotta give and take a lot in this race until the end. The last 15 or 20 laps, forget it. It's going to be real exciting.
So we continue to work the field under caution here in the Hershey's Kissables 300 at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the race leader with just 24 laps to go.
Yeah, he's trying to figure it out himself. Well, he's still on the lead lap, but
got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Exactly. Going to have about 10 laps to go.
Marty?
Well, first of all, he gave no indication on the radio that he thought anything was intentional on Kyle Busch's behalf. There was some right front damage. There's also some left front fender or some skirt damage on the bottom of the valence. They need to fix that. They're talking about bringing Jamie back in, and he says there's a lot of smoke in the car. He is going to come back down pit road now. Alan?
Well, Kyle Busch is going to pit from 5th position. He got a piece of that accident. There is damage to the left rear. They're looking to make some cosmetic repairs with some of that old 200-mile-an-hour tape. If they need tires, they'll change the left sides. Does not look like they're going to go for that. They want to get him back out there quickly as we're getting the restart next time.
That's right, Alan. The field has been shown the 1 to go signal. We'll get the green next time by. They work on the left side of Kyle Busch's car. Tony Stewart had gotten around Dale Earnhardt. The field is frozen when the caution comes out. So Stewart is the race leader. Then it's Earnhardt Jr., Clint Bowyer, Michael Waltrip, and Denny Hamlin. Kyle heads back onto the track.
Uh-oh.
Denny Hamlin in the 20 car from NASCAR to the tail end of the longest line for aggressive driving. NASCAR made it clear to the Nextel Cup drivers on Thursday they will watch for aggressive driving.
And there we see the red car, the 20. And they have warned them in the drivers' meeting, if they see something they feel like is aggressive, they are going to penalize them. the first example.
There are 6 additional officials watching the races here at Daytona this weekend.
Pull down to the bottom.
Watching for aggressive driving.
We'll get tires, right?
I don't think so. They're going to throw the green flag.
Yeah. There you see some of the NASCAR officials.
Aren't they going to throw the green?
They're supposed to.
Why would you come in for tires when they're throwing the green?
He's not gonna. He stays out. Now he's going to have to drop back. So Hamlin lets the field go by. And Tony Stewart leads with 10 to go. Stewart won this race a year ago when Kevin Harvick pushed him to victory. Allen.
Clint Boyer sticking his nose out of line. They finally diagnosed the problem that made that 2-car slide so far back in line. Remember when he just missed the big wreck? He skidded the tires. He raced all that time with a flat spotted tire, which is why he was falling back. Dave?
Right behind him, the 99 car of Michael Waltrip says, I will stay with the 2. Tell them I will not leave his backside for nothing. We'll see if that holds.
Well, we get... I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Wally, this aero package is much like the older days of NASCAR racing. We used to have the slingshot type moves. Wally Rogers just said to me, because I feel like we might be a sitting duck out front after we got that caution. AB?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. not terribly optimistic under that last caution in his radio transmissions, but I can tell by the nature of his driving since the restart, he's not giving up.
Next 9 laps will be fun to watch.
Oh, yes. Oh, we got a car on the wall.
David Rudiman in the 12 car.
Caution flag is out.
And that would be number 10.
Sorry, Dave, that was my fault. I thought you was going to make it up there.
No, it cut a right front tire now, Butch.
There goes a piece of the rotor, it looked like.
That's what it looks like. I'll tell you what, if they don't red flag this, if that was rotor, they got so much debris back there, it's going to take 5 or 6 laps to get this cleaned up.
Already in the wall by the time we pick it up.
We heard him say that the right front tire blew.
So a tough run for David today. Trying to help this team out by driving here at Daytona this weekend.
No, we're done, dude. We're done. They killed it.
And he's going to need to call AAA.
Yep. There's the brake rotor you were talking about, Wally.
That a little warm?
Pretty hot. Very hot.
So the track cleanup crew at work.
Wonder where the other half is. Maybe it's still on the car.
And Rudiman sees his day come to an end. Give a call to Stacy Compton, who's worked his way up to 5th in that 59 car. Dave, you working with Stacy today?
Yep, and he has been lurking all day long. In fact, a little while ago, I talked with his crew chief about the strategy, and he said, well, we've been hanging back all day. They've made basically no changes to the chassis, and now Stacy is back there. His strategy to the end, though, is fairly well set. He says, guys, I can only run that bottom line. I don't care what they do up in front of me. I got to hold this ground.
Watch for that.
There's the other half.
Run out there and get that, would you, Benny?
I don't want to pick it up. You know, the brakes here at this place is really amazing because you don't use the brakes. So they're cold. They're whatever, 20 degrees. You stop and you hit the brakes and they go from 20 to 1200 in a matter of a few seconds.
Alan?
Pretty good way to spend your first day as a crew chief for Clint Boyer to be in contention to win at Daytona. This is Dan Daringoff. Dan, can you get up there and get the job done?
Well, I think we can. Junior's doing a heck of a job of blocking us, but we're just kind of waiting out. Lap or 2 to go. We'll see what we got.
Now, tell me what it was that finally fixed that car when you dropped back so far earlier.
Yeah, we locked the brakes up, and we didn't think we did. After we made that last stop, we saw that the tires are flat spotted. AC Delco Chevrolet just come right back up to the front, and really proud of Clint.
I know Clint Boyer's excited. Marty?
Well, Wally Rogers is hoping that Tony Stewart will make it 2 straight Daytona Busch Series wins. So can he keep it up front and block everybody else from passing him?
I don't know. I think so. I mean, this plate racing with the Wickers, man, it's crazy.
It's intense, isn't it?
Oh, it's beyond intense. But I just told one of the guys. I said, I'm a little bit nervous now, but I am nothing compared to what I was for the last 2 days trying to qualify for this thing.
Yeah. Once you get in and you got a guy like Tony Stewart, you can usually get to the front, Dave.
Now with Cully Barraclough, crew chief for the 99. Okay, I will stay with the 2. I will not leave the 2. Hey, if the 2 is going to drive like that, I might have to pass him. What do you think he's going to do?
Now he's looking for some help from behind, but with Michael's experience here, all them younger guys around him would probably do well just to follow along with what he's doing and get up there and get a shot at it, you know?
It's really hard to know, though, really what you have to do at the end of this race, isn't it? Just kind of take what you got?
Yeah. I'm just enjoying watching it. This is a lot of fun right here.
You know, these crew chiefs are fans down here, too, guys.
I agree with him. I'm having fun watching it, too. We're watching the Daytona 500 tomorrow and watching the NBA All-Star Weekend coming up next on TNT as soon as we conclude our coverage of the Hershey's Kissables 300 from Daytona.
Best thing about tomorrow, it's 200 miles longer.
Exactly right. Let's take a look at today's race. Benny getting here early this morning, and the green flag cutting out.
Didn't take long. Lap 3. Kenny Schrader, left rear tire explodes off the corner. He spins around in front of a lot of cars, and luckily no one hit him.
Very lucky right there. Comes back across the track. Everybody got through cleanly. Lap 28, multi-car crash. Reed Sorensen involved along with Aaron Fike.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter blew a right front tire. That's what set this crash up.
Lap 39 in traffic. Jason Leffler contact. Paul Menard and Carl Edwards. And then Anthony Foyt right about now.
And after he thought he had the wreck, missed. Not today.
Lap 50.
John Andretti just gets into the left rear quarter panel of Paul Tracy. Turns him sideways, just gets into the wall.
Tracy went back out, ended up in the wall a second time.
And then Greg Biffle in 16 gets in the back of Brian Vickers, and he hooks the 9 car, does Vickers, head on in the wall. 6 or 7 cars involved in that crash.
Everybody was okay. Lap 107. Kyle Busch, after contact from Denny Hamlin, sends Jamie McMurray to the grass. Hamlin forced to restart at the end of the longest line for aggressive driving. And David Rudiman in the wall. 10 cautions today. Marty.
Bill, it may say Kevin Harvick Inc. on the side of the car, but we know who the real boss is. It's this lady, Miss Delana Harvick. And are you confident your employee, Mr. Stewart, can pull this one off?
If anybody can do it, he can do it. I'm pretty confident with him.
Now, you told me you're a pessimist. Why? Now, you don't have faith in him, or is it not having faith in everybody else?
I figure if you look toward the negative and it turns out positive, it'll only get better. So that's how I look at it. But he can do it.
Yeah, your husband's in 6th, and he's almost getting beaten by your young rookie, Bernie Lamar, who's doing a great job today.
Bernie's done a great job with that Dollar General Chevrolet, and so is Tony. I'm really proud of all these guys at Kevin Harvick Incorporated. It says a lot for what we're doing.
You did very good with a sponsor plug, too.
Thank you.
All right, very good. And she's going to root for 3 guys out here, Mr. Stewart, Mr. Harvick, and Mr. Lamar.
But, Marty, who do you think she's really rooting for?
Mr. Stewart.
Oh, Marty.
Boy, Marty's been working on this material. Yes.
Wrong answer.
They'll get the green this time. Mr. Stewart leads Mr. Earnhardt. 5 laps to go at Daytona.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, BP, start making some deals and waving your hands, because this is where he's got to do it. Junior does get up beside him.
He's got a run on Tony.
And that was really a good move, because that's when you have to do it, is on these restarts when you're going through the gears.
With you have the help up top.
That's the best time to take advantage of trying to pass somebody.
But Michael Waltrip trying to go 3 wide, got on the inside of the 2, and Junior and Tony side by side, both of them trying to find some help.
Now it is. Now it is 3 wide with Clint Boyer going for the lead.
Yeehaw!
Here, 3 wide, 33 on the bottom, 99 up top.
That's Michael. That's Michael on the outside.
Harvick,
Boyer behind him.
in the middle, behind Earnhardt Jr.
Wow, how much better does he get than this?
Who's in 12th? Because they may wind up winning this thing.
Exactly.
I'm not looking at 12. I'm looking at first.
Harvick is behind Junior. You think he's going to put a competitor by his car?
He may not have a choice.
Gotta go. You gotta go right now. You gotta think about yourself right now.
And Stacy Compton, 59, right behind Tony Stewart.
Outstanding run for Stacy Compton. Stewart in the 33, Earnhardt in the 8, Michael Waltrip in the 99. There's Compton in the 59.
Waltrip got a good shot right there from the 2 car, Clint Boyer.
There's that
Earnhardt back.
But I'm told that Compton, the 59, cannot run in the middle. Looked like he should have moved up behind Junior, but his car just does not handle well up there.
He's hanging on the Stewart's bumper.
Wow, the 2 car really banging on Michael Waltrip right there.
All of a sudden, the 29 of Harvick, did he recognize that he was helping Junior get by his car, or is something wrong with the 29?
Or that middle lane just wouldn't go anymore. Harvick falls into the low line, the inside line. Looking back off Michael's car.
But Michael Waltrip in front.
Waltrip moves over. Stewart thinks about going high, and does. How high is he going to go?
Is this Bernie Lamar behind Waltrip? Wow, looky!
Oh, he jumped out and got behind that other Harvick car. Oh!
Man, oh man!
What? There's a lot of driving going on inside those cars right now.
And Junior's falling back to about 7th or 8th.
Tony Stewart with the rookie, Bernie Lamar.
I wonder if those tires that those used tires that Junior has is affecting his car.
Looks like Lamar's car might be pushing some water. Overheating.
Lap and a half to go. Now what's Lamar going to do?
Oh, he's got to stay behind 33.
Oh, yeah. He's got to push Tony Stewart to victory lane if he can.
That would make Mrs. Harvick happy, right?
Here comes Boyer on the outside.
Coming to get the white flag. Last lap at Daytona.
And Elliott Sadler's at 90 car. All of his problems, there he is, trying to win on the last lap.
Got the lucky dog 3 times today, I believe.
Nice spot that lap.
I can't believe they make it back start finish line like this.
Down the back stretch for the final time. Half a lap to go. Stewart leads. Lamar, the rookie, second.
There you go, come on.
Boyer inside of Lamar.
They're down there with you. Come on. Come on.
Don't think he's got enough time.
Mike Dillon trying to urge his driver to the line.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go.
Stacy Compton into the wall. Michael Waltrip is around.
Denny Hamlin hard into Elliott Sadler.
Stewart takes the checkers. The caution obviously another hard hit. You were right, Benny. They didn't make it around.
Didn't see any way they could.
Cars in the grass. Cars finished on pit road. Field is frozen when the caution comes out. Tony Stewart has won his 2nd straight Hershey's Kissables 300.
It's a shame that we tear up all this equipment to all the last just 100 yards from the start-finish line. Who gets in the back of the 59?
It looks like Elliott Sadler may got the 59 a little bit loose there. Boy, I mean, Denny Hamlin just pounded Sadler.
Let's see again. Yeah, it looks like Elliott might have either that or maybe the 59 just lost control off the corner. Don't know.
Reed Sorensen in the 41.
David Green, Mark Green in 4 car goes through there, makes contact again.
Looks like Jason Keller got a piece of it too, right? Now obviously the concern is to make sure everybody's okay.
KJ Yaley goes on the grass and drives right through all that trouble. It happens that quick.
And that close to the finish.
On board with Kenny Wallace as he's involved. Boy, Kenny just missed that wall.
Goes on forever, doesn't it? Kevin Harvick's car.
Kenny's on the outside there. Keep coming. Come on. Come on. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. All right. Back it down. Back it down. Back it down. That was one hell of a job.
Elliott Sadler moments ago. Delana Harvick.
Tony Stewart, back-to-back Daytona wins. He said he approached this day as a tension breaker to have some fun. Does it get any more exciting than that, Smoke? I mean, from the back to the front several times.
Yeah, we no offense, buddy, but we were really bad to start with. But this guy did an awesome job today, Wally Rogers, getting us this Old Spice Monte Carlo SS good. We got it good at the end of the day, but man, if you'd have seen the changes we made, it'd have scared you to drive it. But I was going to stay with Junior there. I got such a big run, there was no way I could stop, you know. If I'd have stopped, I'd have got blown, we both would have got blown by. So I just had to take it.
And then the 3 wide racing, 3 rows deep. At what point did you feel like, then you saw you had the 77, your teammate in the mirror. At that point, did you feel like you had a good shot to get a good push?
Yeah, but I knew he wants to win really bad, too. He's a rookie, his first race with KHI, and I know he wanted to win it, too. But it's nice that we had a teammate there at the end like that.
Tony Stewart, Hershey's Victory Lane celebration, his back-to-back Daytona win.
And as you saw on the graphic, his only 2 Busch Series wins have both come in this race. NASCAR looking at videotapes to help sort out the finishing order. They do that if the caution comes out on the final lap. The only time they use video to help sort out the order. Let's check with Alan.
What was it you said to me when you first got out of the car, Clint Boyer?
That was fun. I don't know how it gets any funner than that. It was pretty crazy, pretty wild out there. We had a fast car, flat spotted my tire right there, and in the middle of the race, and got real tight. Had to go to the back, but we charged back up through them, gave them a run for their money. Had a lot of fun. Hats off to Bernie Lamar out there. His first Busch race for Kevin. He did a heck of a job out there. It was fun racing with him.
Tell me about trying to get around Stewart.
Man, it's a handful. I thought I had him once or twice, and then, they dove back low. I mean, we were trying as hard as we could. Everybody was every which way. Stacey Compton helped me right there at the end a bunch. I hated it that he got wrecked right there, but thanks a lot to him as well.
All right, good luck in the 500 tomorrow. Clint Boyer, Bill.
Unofficially, the top 5, Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer, Bernie Lamar, Stacey Compton, and Elliott Sadler. NASCAR is working on the scoring. Tomorrow on NBC, it's the Great American Race, the 48th Annual Daytona 500. Jeff Burton will lead the field to the green with defending Daytona 500 winner Jeff Gordon on the outside of the front row. Our coverage begins on NBC 1:30 Eastern with the Bank of America countdown to green. We'll have the finish order for you in our NBA coverage from Houston. Now we take you to Houston for NBA All-Star Weekend leading up to the 55th Annual NBA All-Star Game. Here's Ernie Johnson.